All right, welcome to my stream. So today I'm going to be working on some Diddle interpretation. So specifically, I'm going to work on 2 exercises that I've posted on my website in the last week or so. And so that's the main plan. With these goals, my plan is to just show you how I practice and the things that I do to warm up, to stretch, to like work on my technique, chops, etc. So the general outline for these sessions is I will do a warm-up, I will stretch and massage my forearms and hands and whatnot, I will then do a post warm-up, I will then work on some kind of technique or chop thing, and then at the very end I will like to chop out on something that I feel like having fun with. So today I will be specifically focusing on 2 exercises. Let me show you where they're at. So if you go here on my website, if you go up to the drumming content and then chops and technique, it's all the way down at the bottom in the technique section. So I'll be working on diddle timing and 5-stroke roll timing. So if you want to join along, you can do that. And actually, I should post it in the chat. Still learning as a streamer. Okay, so copy there and pasted. Okay, so what I want to do to warm up is I'm actually going to play some diddle stuff. So I'm going to play triplet diddle, and or not triplet diddle. I'm going to play diddle on taps with grid. So if I go up to here where it's got triplet grid, I'm going to go to here. And because I'm focusing specifically on diddles today, I figured this would be a fun warm-up to go with. So if I scroll down, we have diddle on taps, and this is the one that I want to do. Let's see if it gives me an ad. No? Cool. Okay, so I want to make this full screen and not starting yet. I want it to go to 1080, and then I want to scroll down too far to the description, and I'm going to start off with, let's see how 190 goes. So I click on it, and then you should hear it here in a minute. So I haven't played yet, so we'll see how this goes. Not bad. Okay, I'm going to actually turn the volume down. A little bit too loud on my end. Quick check. Think that mic's coming through? No, that mic is not coming through. All right, now I got to fix that. Let's go to settings. Let's go to recording. And 2 channels. Testing. Yay! Okay, so I set it to mono, and that made it so this one went off. All right, so let's try this again. 192. Rewind a little bit. You know what would also help is if I didn't have the desktop audio coming through, because it's going to be slightly off, and it's going to make me sound terrible. So, clearly, I'm still working on learning how to stream. All right, so desktop audio is off, microphone is on. That one is too. Sweet. Now let's actually play. We'll go ahead and stop there. So that was a fairly quick warm-up. but it got the blood flowing in my hands, which is exactly what I wanted. So now what I'm going to do is I'll switch the camera so you can actually see me a little bit better. I'll show you what I'll do for my warm-up and stretching routine. And switch. Okay. So first thing I like to do, hold the sticks like this and pull in, and then push out. And this gives a nice, good stretch. Oof. So just kind of hold it as long as you need it. No jerking motions. Don't want to go into the stretch too quickly. And then kind of work your way out. So this gives a good, nice, good stretch. Okay, now if I were working on traditional, then I would also stretch the rotation. So you just kind of hold it. And you try and open up your left hand a little bit more. Or go the opposite direction. And you'll feel a nice, good stretch along there. But I'm not doing traditional. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to stretch the top part of my forearms and the underside as well, the tendons. So you can do this individually, like doing something like this. You can do it on your pad, or you can do it on a wall. So I'm going to stretch the underside first. And so the wall motion that I'm going to demonstrate has to do, it'll give you a deeper stretch depending on how low you get on the wall. So I'm not going to push my weight into it very far. I don't want to tear anything, nothing like that. So stretch in. A little deeper. All right, so now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to stretch the top part. So this is going to be how high up. That will go deep in the stretch. And if somebody just jumped in my stream at that moment, they'd probably be like, what is Jared doing? Okay, so after I've stretched the forearm, the top part, and the underside of the tendons, I now want to stretch my fingers individually. So I actually do both at the same time. So just kind of have thumb touching the thumb, so thumbprint on thumbprint. And this gives you a nice stretch along here, along this part of the hand. By the way, if you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, you can jump to a different section in the description, clicking the timestamp. If you're watching this live on Twitch, you can't do that unless you have a time machine. Okay, so I'm just kind of going through and stretching each finger on both hands at the same time. On the ring finger now. Gotta make sure I actually keep it on camera. All right. So after I've stretched the fingers and stretched the arms a little bit, I like to massage. So what I'm going to do is put my fingers underneath and then my thumb on top. And I'm going to massage. Oh, can you hear my neighbor's dogs? They're upset at something. And they're like right on the other side of this window. Oof. All right, yeah, it's tight up here. That's okay. So last night, Grace, my wife, and I were watching a TV show. And we'll put it on like subtitles and whatnot. And I was drumming, just sitting there and had a practice pad, quieter than this one, and put a towel on top of it. And so it makes it a little bit quieter, but it also works the chops a lot more. So my arms are a little bit sore from that. All right, so now I'm going to do the other side. And so you can do like kneading dough like this. You can also do what I was doing a second ago. It's kind of massaging around the muscle. Okay, so after I massage the forearms, back's a little sore, I like to massage the hands and the fingers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, with the underside, I'm going to use my fingers on the back part of my hand, and with my thumb, I'm going to massage the palm. And so again, we're just trying to, after we get the blood flowing, just get nice and relaxed. with our hands. This is also something that I would do, like if I was taking a test or having to write something, if that's still a thing. Most people, I think, are using everything online. So after I massage the palm, I then like to go from the base to the tip of the finger, massaging along the way 2 or 3 times, depending on how the finger's feeling. So again, I'm massaging both sides of this, so the fingers on the back and then the thumb on the front or the inside of the hand. And so I just kind of work my way through each one of the fingers, just trying to get nice and relaxed. So it will hopefully improve my playing. All right, and then the thumb. I see somebody has joined me live. Hi. I'm gonna switch to the other hand. And now I'm just massaging, stretching, getting nice and relaxed before I actually start working on some diddle interp. Okay, same thing, going through the fingers. It's important to do this every time you practice. Ask me how I know. I got some early signs of carpal tunnel, tendonitis. I had a vein pop right here, like this turned all black and purple. I had an elbow inflate to the point where I couldn't extend it all the way. It was like double the size, like all sorts of hand and arm issues because I was playing too much and I wasn't massaging, stretching, and then even icing like at the end of the night after the fact. So I highly recommend it. Learn from my mistakes. Okay, so now that I've got my hands a little bit more relaxed, I like to do like a post warm-up, just to kind of like really push myself to play faster than what I was doing before. So I'm going to continue to play through this particular exercise. So it's going to pick up at 195, and we'll just go to 200 because it'll only take like a couple minutes to do that. And then I'll actually start working on some diddle interp. Switch to this. All right. A little slurred on the left diddles. Yeah, a little slow on the left. All right, 2 more times. Gotta remember to breathe. Ah! Talking messed me up. All right. Hey, I know that person. Okay, so let's go back to the exercises that I specifically want to work on. So again, this is in the chat. I'll paste it one more time for the person who just joined. Again, welcome. And I'm going down to technique at the bottom, and I'm going to work on diddle timing. Okay. If I scroll down and open this up, I can go into the timestamps, and I'm going to show you some different ways that you can actually like practice an exercise like this. Like, let's say you've never done this before. This is one method that you can use to actually work on it. Okay, so if I go here, what I'm going to do is just watch. So I'm going to see what's going on, how this works, and just kind of mentally playing along while reading through it. Trying to find patterns to understand it. Okay, so each line is moving the diddle over 1. Now it's diddle on 2. This is slurred out right here, this measure. This is normal interpretation. This is the rushed interpretation. normal interpretation. So you're going back and forth to figure out how to control them. So now this is diddle on 3. So you'll be playing a paradiddle. Okay, and then the synthesis line at the very end just has diddle on 1, 2, and then 3. Now I know all this in advance because I wrote it out. But this is what I'd look for if I were practicing this. Okay, now second time through, instead of just kind of watching and figuring out the patterns, I'm gonna play it with my wrist. So you can play it on your chest, you can play it on your pad. You want to make sure that you hear the perfect interpretation of the computer louder than your actual playing at this stage in it. Like there, I realized I was coming in early. Okay, now the synthesis. Okay, now I'm going to play it, and I'm going to play it soft. So again, I can hear it louder than my own playing. I'm focusing on the interpretation. Not really worrying about the accents. A little early there. Okay, now I'm going to play it with the accents around 9. I rushed that. I was late. A little off on the interp there. I rushed a little. Okay, I'm going to play it at full height for the accents. Keep the taps nice and low. Try to at least. Really trying to focus on my interp right now. Right now things are not really too solid. Okay, so at this stopping point, what I'm going to do is slow this down. So my interpretation is off. So I'm going to go down. Let's try 10 clicks, starting at 70, and then I'll go 60, 50, 40. So Once I get to 40, I'm then going to hang out there for a bit and then work my way back up to the faster tempos, or tempi, which is actually the plural word of tempo. Random fact. Okay, so now if we scroll down, I go to 70, and we'll try it here. And this is going to really make it so that I'm focusing on that space in between each one of the notes and see how it goes. Better than I thought so far. When doing this, really focus on the rhythm. Man, my talking is really messing up. But I think it's helpful for me to point out things when it happens, rather than relying on the memory. So it's just something I need to get better at. Couldn't even say better. Okay. Let's go to 60. Right there. I like going on the zeros and the fives because then it gives me this little break so I can actually say something and then play. If you don't want that break, you want to just immediately jump into the tap off and then just go to 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Ugh, early. My talking messed me up. Early. On that right. Trying to stay nice and relaxed while doing this and not like hammering the accents. I can't speak and drum yet. Let's go to 50. This feels so slow compared to 60. I get bored with tap-offs. Did too many in one lifetime. Really focus on the rhythm when you're playing this slow. The interpretation. Okay, not bad actually. I'm squeezing a little too much on the accents. Taps are a little high. Like that, right? First left was a little rushed. After that first accent, on measure 3, or 4 rather. This is really hard to speak, but I'm getting better at it. You might disagree. That's okay. All right. Now the ultimate test, at least on this. Let's try it at 40. Oh, it's so slow. I could like take a water break. Oh, late. Not as slow as I thought, I guess. Oh, that's slower. I rushed it. Need to focus on the interp more. Little slow. Oh, late. Early. See, this is why I wanted to get down to 40. It really helps you figure out exactly whether or not you're playing perfect interp or not. So what I'm going to do is actually stay here and just let it go one click at a time until it starts to feel comfortable, and then I'll go up like 5 or 10 clicks at a time until it starts to feel really solid. Like right now, there's a lot of inconsistencies. Like, if I wasn't streaming this live, I wouldn't post this on, like, social media. Because it doesn't sound great. But that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this. So I wanted to show, like, here's the raw, like, what it looks like. Not the 10th take. How you practice. Yeah, so specifically the 16th note stuff where it's just like a little bit off. Checking, saw that it was for my wife. Just want to make sure she didn't need anything. Oh wait, I think she does. Oh, she'll knock on the door. Our garage door's stuck right now, so we have one car out. So she'll just take that one. Having to lift it manually until it gets fixed. Joys of home ownership. I actually do like home ownership. Like if I don't like this wall behind me, cool. I can get rid of it. Because it's mine. Early. Late. Early. This is why I'm practicing this slow. The talking's not helping though. Slightly late on that first accent, a little early on that one. I rushed the diddle, going into that third accent on the paradiddles. When playing something like this, it really helps to sing it in your head, what the rhythm in is. So you're not just like letting it like fall in and just letting the rebound do it. You want to like physically stroke each one of these so you actually get the rhythm intentionally with what you're playing. Let's try it at 42. Maybe with less talking and less mistakes. So far, it's the rush ones that are probably the most off of the 3 patterns: the slurred, the normal, and the rushed. Itchy face. It's one of the worst things when I used to march. Ugh, late. When you get an itchy face and you're not supposed to break from set. Okay, so overall this rep was better than the previous 2. I don't want to leave too soon. I need to demonstrate consistency, and I still need to improve the rush, the measures 4. So these, this one, that one, and that one, those need to be better. Not a great attack. A little flammy. That was a much better interpretation. Slightly late, I think, on that first note. A little slow on the first diddle. But better. So I'm noticing improvement, which is good. That's the point of this. I'm not just playing for the sake of playing. A little late on the attack. A little late on the diddle. Early. Better. Not better on that last diddle. So the first line was better. Second line, meh. Got a hiccup brewing. I'm sure you wanted to know that. It's important. My OCD is getting to me. I don't like that this isn't straight on. Is that better? Sort of. Okay. Alright, let's try 44, then we'll go faster. Second note of the diddle was a little early. Oops. Talking messed me up. Yeah, so I hope that while I'm playing and I'm showing you what it's like to play slow, that this is useful for you, because then you can see, oh, those are the things that Jared is noticing and working on. Like that was early, that was late. It's really hard to talk. Yeah, so as I was saying, I hope this is useful for you, so you can find some ways for what to focus on, pay attention to when you're playing, or see how to practice. It's not all about playing everything at like 200. And if anything, you're playing most of the stuff really slow, like this. And these play-alongs that I've got on YouTube will hopefully help you to force yourself to play slow. So you can really focus on your technique, interpretation. Unlike that, that was a little slurred early. Okay, I'm gonna go up a few clicks. It was improved. So let's see how it sounds when I go back to 50. Stretching my feet. Okay. It's nice to have a relaxed technique, but it's annoying how when hit the stick, it like nearly comes out of my hand. Like my thumb completely came off of it. By the way, if you have seen the video where I talk about what does relaxed drumming sound like, where I talk about stick hum, that's one of the things that I'm specifically listening for or trying to feel in my hands, the vibration, when I'm playing the taps right now. You probably can't hear it with the mic setup. I had to get it really close for that video. Wow, really messed myself up with the talking there. But I can hear it, and I can feel it tickling my hands, which is good. This is what I want when I'm practicing slow. Phone was still on. Ooh, my shoulders are sore. I should stretch that. Late. Slightly slow on the second note of that diddle. But then I fixed it. I identified a problem, fixed it midway through playing. That's what you want to do. Ooh, a little late on the first accent. A little rushed on that right-handed diddle. That was better. Yeah, that was better than when I was playing it in the 40s, so that's great. It felt really in sync. Not the band. I messed up my timing there because I thought of the joke, and then I was like, should I make that joke? I like when it messes up my speaking. The rhythm, that is. Yeah, so I was debating, should I make the joke? Ended up making it, obviously. But it messed me up. Realized that I was forcing the taps a little too much. So I'm going to do this again. Try and improve that. Staying loose. Better. A little late there. For some reason, the word better in the stream is not getting better. That's feeling better. So's that word. little slurred. And a little late on the diddle. But overall, better. You're noticing I'm practicing that word more? I messed myself up. Apparently, I shouldn't laugh. Maybe. That's why they always told us to have set face, because if you laughed, then it just messes up your playing. All right, so I'm going to jump up to 60 now, because things are sounding more consistent and good in 50s. Scroll down and 60. Sore. I'm sorry. A little early. A little rush. A little slurred. A little late. Early. Slurred. Woo! Maybe I should slow it down. Definitely need to do this at 61. I'm realizing now, based on how much time I'm spending on this, I don't have enough time to do 5 strokes. So I'll do that tomorrow. And it's okay to do that, to adjust your practice schedule. Just come into it with a plan and understand that it might change. As long as the plan's not like, I'm going to work on technique, and then you just sit there and play cheesy poofs like all day. Actually, I don't know if that's a popular exercise anymore. It was when I used to march. Back in my day. Actually, now that I think about it, that was a long time ago. 20 years ago, I was doing my second year on Academy. First time on snare in 2002. 2001, I was playing pit. 2003, got a solo part. That was cool. 2004 as a center. 2005, I marched on the end so I could work on listening in. Story behind that. Then I got into a car accident. Couldn't march my last 2 years. So my age out was 07, but I didn't get a march 06 or 07. Honestly, that sucked. Didn't help the depression, because drumming was the one thing that kept my mind off the depression and suicidal ideation. So when I couldn't march, it kind of like took my identity away. It was no fun. And that's when I realized that the most important thing for me is being able to teach. Because at any point, my hands could be taken away. Because of that car accident, really taught me something. Completely changed my trajectory. Because I couldn't march those last 2 years. Story time with Jared is messing up my playing. Okay, let's speed this up. So it's going fine, given the fact that I'm even telling a story while doing it. Okay, so let's try it at 70, and if this sounds good, cool. Then I'll jump up another 10. I see we got a couple people who are watching. Hi. Feel free to ask questions. Working on Diddle interp. I should probably paste the link again in the chat. A little late. Slightly rush that first diddle on that last measure on the right. A little late on the second note of the 4 pattern. Cool. Try and stay nice on... Messed up the rhythm right there. I almost played the 4 pattern. I don't need to slur it. All right, so I got to do this again. Let's see if I can do it in time. New person who joined. I pasted in the chat where I'm at. I'm doing diddle timing at the bottom of the page. And I'm using the timestamps in the description. All right. X12 Raven is asking what to do to improve reading music, strength doing it. Honestly, you just got to do it a ton and find as much as you possibly can. So after I finish this, I'll give you a preview of my collection. But that's a great question, Raven. Okay. So let me pause right here to answer the question more appropriately. Okay, so one year for Christmas, all I asked for was method books. So I have a ton of them. I'll come bring them over here in a second. The reason why I did this is because I wanted to get my hands on as much music as possible to help improve my own playing. So let me grab a stack. So this is like a stack of some method books that I have. I'll show you so you can see it a little bit better. So I actually have like a whole cabinet full of just a bunch of method books. So some of these are even like some band method books back when I used to teach that. Now, the reason why I got all this is because... Let me address this more. The reason why I got all of those is because I wanted to improve my playing. A method book is one of those things where once you read through it, you can leave it for a while and then come back to it and you can reread it. So you're practicing sight reading. So what I would do is I would set a metronome and I'd pull up something. Like, here's a simple one. So this book right here, Syncopation. Most people use this for drum kit. So let's say you would read through this whole thing. What I would do is I'd practice, like each one of my practice sessions. If I had maybe an hour or two, I'd spend like 10 minutes just focusing on sight reading. So I'd like read through this whole page, read through this page, just basically set a metronome and just try reading through it. And then the next day I'd go through another couple of pages. And each day I'd just keep going a little bit further. And then once I finish this, all right, cool, I'm done with this book. I'll move on to another one and just read through it. Even if it sounds terrible, that's okay. The point is to expose yourself to a variety of different rhythms, different melodies, harmonies, if you're playing like a marimba or something, and then just get to the point where you are more comfortable reading that. By the time you cycle through however many method books that you have, then you can come back to these, and then you can continue to sight read it again, maybe trying it a little bit faster. If you expose yourself to new music every day, that right there is how you improve your ability to read music. However, here's another tip for you. So one other thing that I do, and the reason why I have this on my website, all of these practice resources, oh, you can't see them. Let me show you. All these practice resources on here are play-alongs, so you can figure out how the rhythms work with it, etc. Right now, I don't have a ton of super complicated rhythmic stuff, but if you go to something like the timing permutation exercises, and then like let's say this 16th note one, if you work on something like this will help you with your rhythm reading abilities. So yes, it's specifically designed for working on like drum kit and whatnot. But if you were to scroll through this and go, okay, let's see what this sounds like at, I don't know, 79. This right here is going to give you perfect rhythmic interpretation because it is a computer that is playing the rhythms for you, and you can figure out exactly how it's supposed to go. So now we're going to line 2, and so now we got this. And then this will help you practice perfect rhythmic interpretation. So that is how I specifically worked on it. The first one is a variety of repertoire, and the second one is practicing with playing along resources. So hopefully the stuff on the website and the things that I'll release each Friday will assist you with that. So Raven, does that answer your question? Hopefully. Okay. While you're potentially typing that, I'm going to go back to here. And I'm going to speed this up. And let's try 100. So this is a bigger jump than I was doing before. By the way, Raven, if you can't afford meth books, go on something like MuseScore. People have stuff on there for free. And that will help you. All right, so this is getting better. My interpretation, and then I mess up. Cool, so I'm gonna speed this up, because that sounded good enough to me. I'll be on here for a little bit longer. So I'm gonna play this a few more times, just keep speeding up, and then I'm actually going to chop out on some stuff. Ah, yes. So Raven, this is similar for guitar. My wife plays guitar, well, and drums. And the way that she got better at reading guitar is just going up to like different websites that have guitar tabs, chords, etc. and just finding new music. So every week there's something new that comes out, like on the top 50 charts. Figure out how to play those. And there are a ton of guitar sites specifically for that. Another website that might be good. I don't know if they've actually released it yet. Let's see. Guitario, I think is what it's called. No. Yeah, so I think this is it. So Drumeo is a very popular website. I think this is it. Yeah. Okay. So Guitario, which is spelled there, Guitareo, might be a good spot for you. So Drumeo has been really good for drummers, and this is kind of their offshoot specifically for guitar. I personally haven't used it yet because I haven't played guitar, but this might be helpful for you. I'll include a link to it in the chat for you. Just to make your life easier. No, that's not it. There's the link. And hopefully that helps. All right, let's try 120. Still working on Diddle interp. I want to find a breaking point with this where it does not sound good, and then that'll tell me, hey, this is where I need to pick up working on it. So that first line was pretty good. You're very welcome, Raven. Hope you have a good rest of your weekend. And by the way, Guitario might be a paid thing, but they, just like Drumeo, they should have some free stuff for you. Always try and find some free, and then, if possible, study with somebody privately. Like I used to teach privately. It's very helpful. But I'm biased. All right, 130. Oh, hey, Chief. I didn't realize it was you. You jumping on tonight? I think Psych and I will be on. Okay, 130 sounded good, even though I was talking while doing it. 140. Sweet. Then I will see you tonight. Or hear you tonight, I guess. Okay, this is actually going better than I thought it would. Let's try a larger jump. I don't know how 160 is going to sound. I have a feeling that the left hand is going to slur out on those. I'm still not really fully finding my breaking point yet. And one of the reasons why I do that is because I try and push my brain to think a little bit faster each time. So I go to the breaking point and go a little bit faster than that. It helps. That wasn't good. Let's try it again. Oops. Yeah, this first line's a bear for me. See what I mean? Yes, the left. It's slowing down. Yep. Okay. So 170 seems like it's a good breaking point for me. Probably even 165 is where I can play more comfortably with it. Cool. So now that I found a breaking point for that, I want to do something to chop out. Something different. A little spice. And I want to do No, a fun one is the chut cheese stuff. I know I've done this one before, but I like it. It's fun. So I'm going to do chut cheese on one, chop out with this, and I'm specifically going to chop out with it at a faster tempo, not at 40. Let's start here at 140. Helps if I can click it. All right. Ew. Okay. This might be breaking. Can't speak too much. Yeah, my left is tightening up. Woo! Oh yeah, definitely got the blood flowing in my hands. I don't know if you can see it too well, but the veins are engorged. All right, so again, the reason why I like to do these chop outs is because I want to just kind of like end with something fun and just kind of push myself to play a little bit faster so that the next time when I get to this, maybe I'll be half a click or a full click faster when I'm working on it. And it's good to just be able to have the chops. So one of my favorite things to do. Cool. So tonight I'll be gaming. It looks like Raven will also be there. And I think Dr. Neurolab, I think that's the name he's going by on here. He's going to be joining as well, so that'll be fun. And then tomorrow I'm going to do the 5-stroke version of this. So if you go back on the website, I will be working on Diddle interpretation and specifically working on this one, the 5-stroke roll. So that's the plan for tomorrow. And then I think I should be streaming with my wife tomorrow night. So that's the game plan for the next day or two. Thank you for those of you who joined in. And thank you, Raven, Chief, for chatting with me. Hopefully that helped. And I hope you all have a good rest of your weekend. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.